In the quiet suburbs of Sydney, a chilling darkness descended. A predator moved silently, targeting the most vulnerable members of society. His name would become synonymous with terror: John Wayne Glover, the Granny Killer. His crimes shattered the illusion of safety in ordinary homes. They exposed a horrifying truth about the evil that can lurk unseen. This is the story of a monster who preyed on the elderly and the relentless pursuit that brought him down. John Wayne Glover presented himself as an unremarkable figure. A traveling salesman, a husband, a father. He was a man who blended seamlessly into the background of suburban life. Beneath this veneer of normalcy, a sinister compulsion festered. It was a darkness that would soon erupt, leaving a trail of fear and death across the city. No one suspected the monster hiding in plain sight. The attacks began subtly, almost unnoticed at first. Elderly women, often alone, became his targets. He would gain entry through deception or force, then unleash his brutal violence. His method was chillingly consistent: strangulation. The victims were often left in their homes, their deaths initially attributed to natural causes or accidents. This allowed him to operate undetected for far too long. The first confirmed victim was 82-year-old Florence Broadhurst in 1990. Her death was initially deemed accidental. This pattern of misdirection became a hallmark of his early crimes. As his confidence grew, so did the frequency and brutality of his attacks. The pattern became clearer, yet the motive remained elusive. He seemed driven by a perverse desire for control and power. Glover often used ligatures such as stockings or pantyhose to strangle his victims. He would then stage the scene to appear as a robbery or a fall. This calculated deception made identification incredibly difficult. The victims were all women, aged between 60 and 90. They lived alone, often in ground-floor units or houses. This demographic vulnerability was a key factor in his selection process. A palpable fear began to spread through Sydney's elderly communities. Whispers turned into urgent warnings. The police were facing an unprecedented challenge: a serial killer targeting the most defenseless. The media dubbed him the Granny Killer, a name that struck terror into the hearts of many. Every unexplained death of an elderly woman became a source of intense public anxiety. The city held its breath. Law enforcement struggled to connect the seemingly disparate incidents. The lack of forensic evidence and the varied locations made it a complex and frustrating investigation. The pressure mounted with each new victim. Detectives worked tirelessly, sifting through countless reports. They established a task force, Operation Rockwood, dedicated solely to catching this elusive killer. The stakes were incredibly high. The psychological profile of the killer began to emerge. He was likely a local, familiar with the areas he targeted. He was cunning, meticulous, and deeply disturbed. Despite the growing body of evidence, a clear suspect remained out of reach. The killer was a ghost, leaving behind only terror and unanswered questions. The community demanded answers. The breakthrough came with the attack on 84-year-old Gwen Davidson. Unlike his previous victims, Mrs. Davidson survived the brutal assault. Her survival provided crucial details. She described her attacker, offering a composite sketch that finally gave police a face to match the terror. Her courage in the face of such horror was instrumental in the investigation. This survival was a critical error on Glover's part. It provided the first tangible link, a thread that detectives could finally pull. The net was beginning to tighten around the unseen predator. Following Mrs. Davidson's description, police intensified their surveillance in the areas of the attacks. They focused on individuals matching the profile, meticulously tracking their movements. On March 10, 1990, John Wayne Glover was observed near the home of another elderly woman. His suspicious behavior, combined with the composite sketch, raised immediate alarms. He was placed under intense surveillance. Detectives watched as Glover entered the woman's home. They waited, their hearts pounding, knowing this could be the moment. The tension was unbearable, the stakes immeasurable. As Glover emerged from the house, police moved in swiftly. The arrest was sudden, decisive, and without incident. The man who had terrorized Sydney for months was finally in custody. The relief among the task force was immense, but quickly overshadowed by the grim reality of his crimes. The monster had a face, and it was disturbingly ordinary. During questioning, Glover initially denied everything. However, faced with mounting evidence and the survivor's testimony, his facade began to crumble. The truth was about to be revealed. John Wayne Glover confessed to the murders of 6 elderly women and the attempted murder of Gwen Davidson. His confession detailed the chilling precision of his attacks. He offered no clear motive, only vague explanations of stress and compulsion. The sheer randomness and brutality of his actions left investigators and the public stunned. In 1991, John Wayne Glover was sentenced to 6 consecutive life sentences. The court recognized the heinous nature of his crimes, ensuring he would never again walk free. The case of John Wayne Glover remains a dark chapter in Australian criminal history. It serves as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers that can exist within seemingly peaceful communities. His crimes prompted significant changes in policing strategies and public awareness campaigns for the elderly. The legacy of the Granny Killer is a chilling lesson in vigilance and the relentless pursuit of justice. The fear he instilled may have faded, but the memory of his victims and the horror of his actions endure. This case stands as a testament to the courage of survivors and the unwavering dedication of law enforcement. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to support our channel. Your support helps us create more dark stories, true crime mysteries, and deep dives into the minds of history's most twisted figures.